We'll now move into a set of short, focused talks that brings perspectives from the industry, implementation of the datasets, and the journey behind this hackathon. To begin this, we have industry perspective on responsible and inclusive AI. Now it's my pleasure to invite Mr. Phillipp from ZIZ, who is joining us online to share his thoughts on speech and inclusion.
Thank you, Vishnu, and I hope everyone can hear me well.
Yes, Philip, you are
Also
audible.
offline. All right, perfect. Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone. It's a great pleasure, and thank you for the invitation to be here. Unfortunately, not in person, which would have been great since we have been working on this, as Prasanta already mentioned, for quite a couple of years to make this happen. So good morning, everyone, again. My name is Phillipp Olbrich. I work for GIZ at a project called Fair Forward, Artificial Intelligence for All, which is funded by the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. And I'm not here to take a lot of your time because I'm sure you are looking forward to jump right into things. But I wanted to briefly talk a little bit about why we have been working on this and how this went so far. And if we could go one slide forward, that would be great. So I wanted to briefly talk about Fair Forward AI for All as a project. So it's a global project of German Development Cooperation, and we are actually working with partners in 7 partner countries worldwide, in Sub-Saharan Africa, as well as in Indonesia and of course in India. And the overall goal with our partners is to promote local AI innovation based on digital public goods. So that means building on open source AI. And we do this really by focusing on 3 different areas of action. The first one and the most important one, or the one that we have focused on the most, is, I think, to improve access to training data and open AI technologies, because from political as well as industry and civil society partners worldwide, we heard that the greatest barrier to building local AI innovation, for example, in Indian languages, but also in the area of agriculture, is access and availability to locally relevant training data. So we have been really focusing on initiatives that create high quality data sets from scratch and make them openly and freely available to all innovators in the ecosystems. Secondly, we're also looking at building technical know-how. That means we would have AI boot camps for women, for example, that we've conducted in Sub-Saharan Africa. We have a lot of e-learning courses available on our platform Atingi, if you're interested in that. So it's really about first demystifying AI, but then also building the computational and engineering skills necessary to build it. And lastly, we have been working with industry bodies, with policymakers, to develop the frameworks to both promote local innovation, but also to make sure that AI is developed in a responsible way that protects personal data and privacy. So, for example, just last week, we have launched a handbook for AI developers in India to basically translate the DPDP Act, so the Data Protection Act, into actionable guidelines for everyone to use to build responsible AI. So could we jump one slide further, please? Thank you. So if, I would like you to take one thing away from this mini intervention, it would be this kind of image of an iceberg of an AI application, because this is really how we have tried to approach this very complex problem, as was already mentioned, of building an AI application. And we really understand it as an iceberg where the AI application is at the top, is above the surface. But all that is necessary that goes into building an AI application oftentimes is not paid much attention to, and especially not in the media. So of course we hear about the chatbots depending on the application, of course, that is creating the impact on the ground. But all the work that goes in is a little bit hidden. And this is what we have been focusing on in the project, because we believe that if you are building the foundation right, a lot of different applications can be built on it. So we are addressing these different kinds of problems, including data, talent, and compute, to put innovators in a position to develop AI applications for the different purposes. So we have been working on, so you, for example, need language data, but of course you need the right expertise and computing time to build one chatbot for health advisory services, for example. But if you have built that foundation once, it could also be the chatbot could be tailored for agricultural advisory or for climate risk insurance, for very specific use cases. So as a project, we have been working with organizations like IISc, but also, of course, with Bashini, with civil society and NASCOM, to get the foundations right so that the innovators can go for the application development. And if we go one slide further, I would like to briefly talk about this project exactly. As I already mentioned, we have started working with IISc about 5 years ago, where we have started to work with Prasanta and his team to really collect high quality speech data in 9 Indian languages from scratch. And there were a lot of open questions at the beginning, including how many hours do you actually need to build models that work on the ground? And we have produced a lot of questions, but of course also a lot of answers, but also of course a lot of questions. And once we had collected these data sets, they were, in the spirit of the project, provided as open and free data sets for everyone to work with. And at Spire Labs, they were also turned into baseline models, so to say. And thanks to the collaboration with Bashini, it was also possible to host both data sets and the models and the APIs for everyone to access. So this is basically what is happening below the surface, if you remember the iceberg. But of course, as an Indo-German development corporation, we also want to contribute to the impact on the ground. And this is the very last step. And I think this is why you are there and why everybody is here online and why so many teams have applied to the hackathon to actually now use these foundations and build a workable solution for impact on the ground, so to say. Because building these kind of language technologies really offers to share reliable information in people's native language and just make knowledge more accessible for everyone. So I would like to thank also our partners at Bashini, at Aman, at IISc and ArtPark, of course, to make this possible, and wishing the finalists at Somya AI, Inverse AI, CDEC, and LTRC good luck, and wishing you all a successful event, and very much looking forward to the results and for how this will work in implementation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Philip, for the... sorry, go ahead.
No, I think we can, it's okay. I think we can skip this part. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Philip, for these insights and highlighting the importance of inclusion from industry and development lines. And also thank you, ZIZ, for supporting such initiatives like CISPIN. Looking forward for more such initiatives and collaborations with IISc and ArtPark.